Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from England. Welcome to today's live stream. Can anyone hear me? Answers in the comments. Hello, Elam Zabihi. I don't know if anyone else is here. Is anyone coming into the studio? So I sent some links to go to the studio. If you want to come into the studio to come on stage on a video, send me a private message and I can give you the link and you can come up on stage and everyone can see you or hear you. You can use just your microphone, or you can use your microphone and your video. Nissa, hello Nissa. Are you coming on stage? Does anyone want to join me on stage? I think that's Risa with the Russian writing, pretending to be Russian. You're Risa, is that right? Yeah, is anyone coming on stage? I sent out some links. If you come up on stage, then people can see you or hear you. So what was I going to do? Yeah, I'm just going to... So does anyone know what today's live stream is? Answers in the comments. Do I even have a PDF? Is this a PDF? Yeah. I will be a listener. Yeah, conditionals. Okay, so I'll just introduce myself like I do on Hello Talk. Yeah, so my name is Chris. I'm an English teacher from England, and I've worked all over the world. In South Korea, well, not really, but in all over East Asia, kind of. South Korea, China, Vietnam, France, and England. Sometimes I like to live and teach online in different countries like Turkey or the Philippines. And so I have 3 teaching qualifications: TEFL, CELTAS, a Master's in Applied Linguistics. And I teach English courses online as well as doing live streams. So I'm moving on to doing live streams on YouTube. I've just done that recently. Today will be grammar. And the topic that we decided on was the conditionals. So what do we know about conditionals? Answers in the comments. Let's see if I can find my classroom. Risa, what can you tell me about the conditionals? Have you studied them before? Oh dear, let's try again. Okay. Risa, have you studied the conditionals? Or Nisha, what do you know about the conditionals? Can you tell me? Okay, sorry, having some technical problems here. I'm trying to do a screen share. I don't know what the problem is here. Let me try again. Where's my screen share gone? I've never studied it, but found it. Okay, Elam, do you know anything about... Oh, here's my screenshot. So this is my classroom. I will disappear into my classroom to write things in my classroom. Elam, do you know anything about conditionals? Yeah, speculation. That's a good word, Risa. So speculation is something which we can imagine, which is not real, not reality. So imaginary situations, or the word they use in the grammar books are also word hypothetical situations. So situations which are not complete reality. Okay, if I can try and get back into my classroom. Sorry, lots of little technical problems today. Let's just write that. Where has my classroom gone? Here it is. Oh, there we go. Okay, conditionals. So about hypothetical situations, things which are not true, not real, imaginary things. Okay, so there are many different conditionals. How many conditionals are there? Answers in the comments. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, and mixed. Good research. So let's start from the beginning. Zero conditional. Okay, Risa, when do we use the zero conditional? Let's start with the zero conditional. When do we use this one? Okay, answers in the comments. Expressing facts. Yeah, that's a good word, facts. Things which are always true, hypothetical situations, but not reality, just things which are true when you do them. Okay, so let's put a word on my whiteboard. Zero conditional. Things which are always true. Okay, let's have an example. Risa, can you give me an example of zero conditional? Who can write a zero conditional in the comments? Also, yeah, we need, if we can get someone on stage, that would be good. So I can have someone to talk to. We're having teacher Anwar coming soon. Let me just send him the link. Okay, let's have an example sentence. Zero conditional. If you heat cheese, it melts. Yeah, good research. Careful with the spelling, though. How do you spell melt? Okay, do I even have the link here? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, let's write that in the classroom, shall we? That's a good example, Risa. Okay, let's change my pen to a blue pen. If you eat cheese, it melts. Okay, can everyone see my writing in my whiteboard? So that's a nice conditional sentence. And we divide the sentence into two parts or clauses. What do we call the different sentence parts? Does anyone know? Answers in the comments. Okay, so we will have the condition clause and the consequence clause. Condition, sometimes called the if clause. I like the word condition or situation, condition clause. And then the consequence or the result clause. You can actually switch them around if you want to. This clause, switch them around. It melts, or cheese melts if you, sorry, what am I doing? Not eat cheese. What a silly mistake by the silly teacher. If you heat cheese. Maybe if you eat cheese, it melts too. So this is always true for everyone. It's true for Risa. If Risa heats cheese, it melts. It's true for me. If I heat cheese, it melts. It's true for anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime. It's true for Donald Trump. It's true for Beyonce. So let's analyze the clauses. How do we form the condition clause, Risa? What is the grammar form? So let's look at the verb heat. Which tense is this? Answers in the comments. What is the simple present? Actually, if you look at the grammar books, you can use different present tenses, but usually it is the present simple. So we'll just call it the present tense. Let me write with my nice red teacher's pen. And then let's look at the consequence clause. So for the consequence clause, which tense do we use? Answer is in the comments. Melt. V1 says, Arisa, what do you mean by V1? Special English language. Okay, so this is also present tense. Usually present simple, but not always. So both clauses are present tense. If you eat cheese, it melts. Always true for everyone, present, present. So we've done the zero conditional. Let's practice it now. Practice time. This one is fun for art and colors. Yeah, it's not the bare infinitive, is it? Because it changes with the person, the I, you, he, she, it. So it's the here it's the present simple. But as I said, you can use different present tenses, but we'll just use the present tense here, I think, because it's nice and easy. Just someone has arrived knocking on the door in my studio. Mr. Amwa, do you want to come in into the stream, Amwa? I can't hear you. Maybe you're in the private chat. Can you send me a private chat message? I think you can hear me. I'm sure you do. I just need to check to be polite. Okay, so I have my first guest coming on stage. Yeah. Oh, hello, Amwa. Good afternoon from England. How are you?
Hello, Chris. Good. Yeah, good afternoon. I'm good. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming. It's nice to have someone on stage. It's always strange just talking to little messages, don't you find? I like to have a human. Yeah. So we practiced the conditionals last time, but I wanted to do the stream again because I wasn't happy with it. So we're on the zero conditional. Can you give me another zero conditional, Amor?
So basically, zero conditional. I think the formula is present simple, right? So if the wind blows, the tree moves.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's possible. To make it more general, you would remove the article and go if the wind blows, trees move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to put that in the chat for us? Are you able to access public chat or not? Maybe not.
I can do it. I
You
Yeah, I
can.
haven't joined YouTube. No, I can do it.
You're not able to. Okay,
I,
so you
I'll,
can
I'll
have.
send in if the winds blow.
Yeah, where are you
blow.
writing this? Private chat.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I can copy and paste your private chat
yeah.
into public chat, maybe. Or I can go into my classroom. Sorry, I'm still a bit slow and clumsy with this new technology. YouTube is not specially designed for teaching, so I'm having to combine my online teaching platform with YouTube. Let me just climb back into my classroom so we can write Amar's sentence. I keep forgetting where my classroom is. I have so many tabs. Is it here? Here it is. Yeah. Okay. So if the wind blows, condition clause, trees move. So yeah, before you arrived, I was just going to play a game. It's good for colors. I don't know if we practiced this last time. For example, if you mix, can I remember? If you mix yellow and blue, what do you get? Answers in the comments. I know you know, Amwa. Can our
Uh,
students get it?
I don't remember it. Yellow?
Anyone good at colors? If you
Is it
mix, I
is it
think I'm right
green? Is
here.
it green?
Yeah, I'm sure it's green. You can try it. Do you have any paints at your house, Amwa?
Oh no, I don't know.
Yeah, let's just write that in there. If you mix yellow and what did I say? And blue, condition clause, consequence clause, you get green. Try it. You had art lessons at school, I guess, did you?
Come again?
Did you had art lessons? Do you remember your art lessons at school?
Yeah, but I don't teach. Yeah, but I don't remember. I don't remember about this thing. They're like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think there was some exercise we mixed the colors. Well, anyway, I think Risa got that. Lar got that. Anyone want to come on stage, please send me a message. If you want to be like Amwar, you can be a kind of mini movie star. Let's try another one. If you mix red and white, what do you get? Zero conditional. Yeah, you can check on Google. Google will give you the answer. Use your imagination. Imagine the two colors coming together. If you get red, if you mix red and white, what do you get? Answers in the comments. Yeah, red and white. Let's
Uh,
write that here.
so if we mix blue and
Uh,
red, we will
get what?
we're gonna get purple, and then if we mix blue and yellow, we're gonna get green.
Yeah, blue and
And
red
when
is
we
purple. Yeah.
mix
So I want to mix red and white. What do you get if you mix red and white?
red and white, I don't.
No. Has anyone put
Uh,
in the comments? Sorry, I have to switch back to the stream from my classroom. Pink, pink. Is it pink or pink,
yeah,
pink?
someone says pink.
Yeah, it's pink.
Yeah,
That's the color I
pink.
had in my head. You get pink. Try it. If you get your paints, get a bit of white, get a bit of red, mix them together, you'll get pink. If you don't study for your test, what does your mother say? You can actually use another conditional, but we use the zero conditional. If you don't study for your exams, What is the
Uh,
consequence of this condition? Anyone answers in the comments? If you don't study for your exams,
will probably fail the exam
yeah, you've
if
actually
we don't
moved
study.
into the you've moved to the first conditional there. Which is actually both are true. We'll talk about the first conditional later, but we're talking about things which are always true everywhere in the universe. True for you, true for me, true for Beyonce, true for Cristiano Ronaldo. Mum will be angry. Yeah, good. But you're again, everyone is doing, well, most people are doing the first conditional. We want the zero conditional, things which are always true. You fail the exam. So remember in English, you has different meanings. It can be you, like I'm talking to you. Sorry, it's a point. That's a bit rude. Or you can just mean anyone. You can mean anyone in the world. And here it means anyone. If you don't study for the exam, you fail. Well done, Risa. Let me just write that because my page is a bit full. If you drink too much beer, this is not real beer, it's pretend beer. If you drink too much beer, what's the consequence?
Yep, you're you're drunk.
You get drunk, yeah. Or you get fat,
You
or
get
both.
drunk.
If you drink, yeah, so you get drunk on the day and then over a long time you get fat. If you drink too much beer, good reset, you get drunk. So remember, this is the zero conditional, not the first, about things which are true for everyone. Anwar, can you give us a new sentence? Something which is true for everyone in the world. So when we say you, we mean everyone. We don't mean you.
Zero conditional. I think uh, if the sun set, it gets dark.
Yeah. That's a bit strange for if, because is this a hypothetical situation?
No, this is like the fact. So
Yeah,
that's
so
like
usually we
everyday
use
situation.
yeah, usually we use when, which is similar. It's something called a what's it called? A future time clause, which are similar to conditionals. They just have different words like when or until. But that's very similar. I'll just put that in the comments anyway. I'll put if or when the sun sets, it gets dark. Okay, we don't have that much time now. I've used probably too much time here. Let's move on to the first conditional. When do we use the first conditional? Answers in the comments. What's happened to my classroom? All right, Amar, can you help us out? When do we use the first conditional?
The first conditional you will mix both present simple and present future. So
Present,
uh,
future.
no, future simple, future simple.
So yeah, let's. Usually the first thing is I talk about like when we use it, not the actual how we create it grammatically. So when do we use the first conditional?
We use the first type of conditional. I think when we want to. This is like a hypothetical statement,
Yeah, yeah.
but the change of it getting like true, like it's gonna get become like what's like reality. The change of it become a reality is gonna be like 90%.
Yeah, good. So we often use the word likely.
Yeah, likely to
Situations,
happen.
and this is not just for everyone in the world. It's specific situations as well. Let me try and write that down. Hypothetical situations. Likely hypothetical situations. When as well is important. When? What is the time frame? Is it present, past, or future?
It's in the future.
We call it present and future. It can
Present
be right
future.
now, or it can be after now. Yeah, and specific. So for you, or me, or Risa, or Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's start then. So let's create some first conditionals in the comments. And sorry, not Anna, Anwar in the studio. Can you give us a first conditional sentence and then we can analyze it?
If you want to, if you study,
Uh,
you will pass the exam.
yeah, good. So this is actually very similar to an earlier zero conditional, but it's true. What is true for everyone in the world is true for one person sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you started to tell us about the form first. So what do we call the two clauses, Anwar? Clause 1, clause 2?
The clause one is, I think, the if clause, and the second one is,
Yeah, good. If
what's
clause.
that called? If clause, and then what's that? I forgot this one.
Yeah, I
Result.
call it, yeah, you can call it result. I call it the consequence clause. I say the condition and the consequent clause, but people use different words. So we say condition clause and then the consequence clause. So
Consequence.
let's look at the condition clause. So which tense do we use?
Uh, in if condition clause we use present simple.
Yeah, and the consequence clause.
We will use future simple.
Yeah, I think you can actually use different present tenses, but we'll keep it simple here. If you look at the books, and sometimes we do, but usually it is the present simple. And here, the consequence clause is, yeah, future. Should we say future simple? We'll say future tense.
Yeah, future simple.
Okay, has anyone created any first conditionals in the comments? I can't see anything. I've got one for you. Can you finish this sentence? If you want to come on stage, what is the consequence clause? What will I do? What will I do, Amwar, if you want to come on stage?
If you want to come on stage, you the teacher will let you.
First, I will give you a link. I will send you a link. Yeah,
Oh,
we always want people to come on
yeah,
stage like me and Anwar. Get some more
yeah,
speaking
yeah.
practice. I will send you a link. Risa says, if it rains today, I will bring an umbrella. Good. If you want to come on stage, you will be. Yeah, I think that will be, Nisha. If you come on stage, you will maybe get more proficient in English or at English. You will receive the invitation. Let's try another one. This I'll ask. So I can ask a question. So you have the question clause, and then you have the condition clause. Yeah. What will you do? What will you do if it rains this weekend, Amar? What will you do if it rains this weekend?
Can I make it the consequence clause in negative?
Yeah. Well, I asked you.
If
I
it
really expected
if it
an affirmative, but it's possible. You can tell me
yeah,
what
if
you
it
won't do this
rains,
weekend.
if it rains, if it rains this week,
This
I
weekend
will
was the
not go
question.
out.
This weekend was the question.
Yeah,
If it rains
yeah.
this weekend, you won't go out.
I will
Good.
not go. I
But
will
what?
not go.
Well, what will you do?
Yeah, I will stay at home.
Yeah, good. If what will you do, Risa? Answer us in the comments. If it rains this weekend, what will you do? So it's England, so it's quite a big possibility that it will rain this weekend for me. So if it rains, I think I will maybe I will do some teacher preparation work. Maybe prepare some more live streams for next lesson. Maybe I will continue writing my book. I will sleep all day if it rains, Risa. Okay. So you only sleep when it rains, do you? What else was I going to say? I had some ideas in my head I've forgotten. Oh yeah, so let's think about a real
If it
situation.
rains,
Yeah, sorry, am I? Yeah.
if it rains this weekend, I will I will cook a noodle instant noodles.
You will go to the instant noodle restaurant, or you'll have no, sorry, you will have
No, no,
instant
no.
noodles
Like
at home.
no, no. Like yeah, I'll cook instant noodles
I
because
will cook
that's
instant
yeah,
noodles
that's
at home because
delicious.
it's easy and you don't need to go out. Okay, I was going to ask a question.
Yeah,
So you are doing your masters at the moment, Amar. Is that correct?
yeah, yeah. I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So what will you do? Yeah, not a nice question. Just to practice, what will you do if you fail your masters?
Oh man, I will. I don't know. I will like I will keep trying because I have to
You
graduate. I
will
have to pass.
you will do the year again. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so normally I'd say what will you do when you pass your masters, but we'll say if to practice the conditionals. What will you do if you pass your masters?
I will try to seek another job.
Yeah, good. I will try to get another job.
Yep, yep.
Okay, any more sentences? And then probably time to move on to the next one, isn't it? This is probably one of the most commonly used conditionals, I guess, just talking about everyday life.
So
Um,
before we move on to the next type of conditional sentences, Chris, like one question. So, like, what is the main differences between the zero and the first type
yeah,
conditional?
as we said, zero should be for all people, all times, things which are universally true. True now, true a million years ago.
Or
And
still true?
first conditional should be specific for you, Anwar, for me, Chris, for you, Cristiano Ronaldo, or Risa, or Nisha. That is the first conditional. Often they're the same because what is true for all people is true for you specifically. If you don't study hard, you fail your exams. You can use it zero conditional because it's generally true. Or if
Yeah,
you don't study hard, you will fail your exams. Or something which is more definitely will happen. For example, if you drink too much beer, you get drunk. Zero. And if you, I know I don't think you can drink beer, but if you drink too much beer, you will get drunk. That's you, Amwar. Or if you whatever. Yeah, do you understand?
yeah, yeah. So the zero condition is basically talking about the fact. Yeah, when we I think because also like the poem is in the present simple. So basically, present simple is used to talk about general fact, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I think I get the whole idea. I get the whole idea.
Yeah, but they are very similar, and often you could kind of have a choice because both
Yeah.
situations will be true, talking about facts and talking about specific situations. And yeah, and you can use more than the present. You can use other present tenses, but just commonly when we do something simple, it's just the present simple. So let's move on, shall we? I
Let's
will
go.
make so yeah, that's your consequence, Nisha. If it rains at the weekend, I will make some hot green tea. Okay, yeah, make some more sentences in the comments if you want. Let me move on to the next one. What's the next conditional answers in the comments? Let's make a nice new clean page. If you are good at maths, you will know that after the first conditional, we have the Anwar, can you help us? What do we have after the first conditional? The
Um, the we have the second conditional, right?
Yeah, good. There we
So
go. Okay, yeah. So you can be our guinea pig. You can give us an example sentence first. Always give the example sentence first. That's generally how we do it in teacher school. Then
all
we
right.
will say when we use it. Whoops, I've spelt it wrong, haven't I? The conditional. What is that? Okay, yeah. Let's create some second conditionals in the comments. Anwar, what's your second conditional sentence?
If I if I were rich, I would I would continue my PhD in Harvard University.
Okay, you would switch from your university in Indonesia to Harvard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's quite complicated. Um, you could say I continue. I would continue studying. Um, yeah, good. So let's explain what kind of situations do we use the second conditional for?
So I think in the second conditional we have this the first one we get like hypothetical.
Yeah,
This is
hypothetical is the
only
key word. So kind of imaginary things which are not actual reality. Hypothetical
yeah.
situations. Any more information?
Also I think this not likely to happen. This not likely to happen because you know.
Yeah, well, in a way, it's not likely to happen just because of the time, really. No, sorry, what am I talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm getting confused. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, unlikely or impossible hypothetical situations. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, and then when?
Come again.
Past when? Past, present, or future?
So it happens in the past.
No, it's not the past.
No, it does.
Present or future. So this is confusing because of the grammar, the
Yeah.
tenses used. It causes confusion. Let me just have a look at the comments. Has anyone created sentences? Yeah, if I were rich, I would travel around the world every month. Good. Ha ha ha. What are you laughing at, Nisha? What's funny? Okay, so let's analyze it. If I were rich, I would continue my degree at Harvard. What do we call the two clauses again?
The first one is if clause,
Yeah,
and the
if clause
second
or
one
condition
is
clause.
yeah, and the second one is the consequence.
Yeah, good. If or condition clause. And how do we form the condition clause? Which tense do we use here?
We
Condition.
use past tense in the if clause, and we use uh, future past future.
Future, past, future.
Yeah, future
What's
past.
what's future past? Future past. Oh, okay. Maybe such a thing exists. I haven't heard of it. Okay, so we have, yeah, even though we're talking about the present or future, we use the past simple. And here we just usually call it would plus what? What's
Oh
the
yeah.
main verb form?
Infinite, infinite,
Infinitive. Yeah. So
infinitive. Yeah,
yeah,
infinite.
yeah, we just call it would plus infinitive. There we go. So yeah, people get confused about this because we use the past simple in the condition clause. We're not talking about the past. We're talking about now or the future. Let's do some more. If I slept earlier last night, I wouldn't feel tired today. Is that correct? Yeah, Risa, we would usually say if I went to bed earlier last night. No, but actually, what are you doing here? No, you're getting a bit confused, really, because you're actually trying to talk about a past situation, which is a conditional, which we'll do later. And you're actually mixing things up. You're trying to do a
Yeah,
more
yeah.
complex form, which we'll do later. To be honest, people might actually use that language, but it's not technically the completely correct English.
But
Okay, let's do. Yeah,
please,
sorry.
the question, if so, you said that this is like in the present or future. So by saying if I were rich, I would continue my degree at Harvard. So then, if someday, if in the future I get rich, I have the chance to go to Harvard, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be right now. It could be, but we know because of the context and the sentence that it's likely quite soon in the future, don't we? Yeah. Let's do another one. If yeah, so yeah, would you say what you say this one was? If I were rich, is that unlikely for you, or impossible?
For me, being
Without
rich,
without being rude, because it's like what we call a spectrum. It could be unlikely or it could be impossible. Well, for most people, would you say is it impossible to be rich?
I think it's still possible to be rich. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not impossible. So I'd say for most people, it's a little bit unlikely or very unlikely. But let's try an impossible one. For example, a fun one. If I were a horse, would you say that's unlikely or impossible? If I were a horse, the animal. So most people say this is impossible. I know you can change your sex now, but can you change your species? Can you change into a horse? I think not. If I were a horse, what is your consequence, Amwar?
If I were a horse, if I were
You
a
have to think
horse,
hard about this one. What would you do? Imagine you wake up, you have long hair, a really long face, and four legs, and you don't speak words, but you go, "No." What would you do or feel?
I would not let anyone to ride me.
You would be a stubborn, annoying horse.
Yeah.
If Anwar were a horse, he would not let anyone ride him. What about any other horses? Risa horse. What would Risa horse do or be? Risa, if you were a horse, La, I would compete in horse racing. Yeah.
That's
Remember
cool.
would plus infinitive.
Yeah, I would compete in a horse
Yeah, you're
racing.
trying to go back to the. You're kind of mixing the first conditional, which is not what we do. Okay. Najla, is that a new student? Hello, Najla.
Yeah,
So
register.
you are, what are you doing? You're giving us a new sentence. Careful, if I can read minds, that's not correct because that's not the past simple. Can you correct that for her, Emma?
If I could read mine, I would be crazy person.
Yeah, good. And it would be plural. If I could read minds, I would be a crazy person.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would.
good. I don't know what you mean exactly. You mean you would read the minds and you would feel crazy when you would hear people's crazy thoughts? Let's
Yeah.
just put the grammar, let's make it correct for you. If I could read minds, I would be a crazy person. Yeah, Risa, if you were a horse, can you give me the consequence? What would I do if I were a horse? Um, if I were a horse, I would want to have an important position. Maybe I would like to work for the queen. Maybe be a horse that belonged to the royal guard. They ride around the queen's palaces.
Oh yeah.
Risa, I don't think you want to be a horse. You haven't given me a consequence. Risa, if you were a horse, no. Maybe she's gone. Okay, shall we move on? I haven't eaten lunch yet, so I think we need to do the third conditional. Let's go back to my classroom. We did this last time, didn't we, Anwar? Can you give me a third
Yeah.
conditional sentence? This is where most people start to have a few problems.
Yeah, it's in the third condition now. I think it start getting. I mean, like it's complicated because the tense is also, I think it's kind of similar with the second one, right? But
But
I think
what's
this
the
one.
difference? Okay, let's do the example first, then we can analyze it. Can you give us a third conditional sentence?
If I had if I had if I had what's the tenses again?
Well, see if you can remember first. I think you're moving in the right direction. Yeah, if I had what?
If I had a lot of money,
If I had a lot of money.
yeah,
And yeah, the second
I
part.
I would have I would have gone. I would have
Mm.
gone to New Zealand.
Yeah, good. So now we can analyze this. So when do we use the third conditional for what kinds of situations?
This is, the chance for this to be happen is really like zero. So you don't. This is only for
Yeah, uh,
impossible. Yeah,
true, but mostly that's really just because of the time. What is the time situation here? The time frame,
we
present, past, or future?
the time is here in the past. In the past.
Yeah, so it's hypothetical past situations. And
Yeah.
just because it's the past, that's the reason why it's impossible because we can't change the past. And the consequence. Okay, so let's look at the form. So what do we call the two clauses?
The first one
Clauses.
is the if clause, and the second one is consequence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if or condition clause. Um, condition clause
condition
and
clause.
consequence clause. So how do we form the condition clause, the if clause?
For the condition clause, we use if and past perfect.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
good.
And then for the consequence clause, we use would. This is like like
Yeah, I would just label the three verb parts. What are the three verb parts?
past perfect, and then this one, the consequences would and
Yeah, I
have.
think I usually just say would plus have plus what?
Past participle.
Past participle. Yeah, some people say would plus present perfect. Yeah, past participle, the third form of the verb. If you look in your verb
Yeah,
tables.
yeah, past participle.
Yeah, so if you remember the past perfect, it's the past before the past. If I had
Yep.
had, yeah, so this sounds a bit strange. The auxiliary verb, the main verb is the same. Usually in speech, we'll use a contraction. If I had had a lot of money,
Or
I would have
I
continued.
or I can change the second head with if I had gotten a lot of money.
Yeah, it's possible. I think that's an American past participle form. So
Okay.
got would be the standard in England. If I had got a lot of money, I would have gone to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And yes, to have sometimes the auxiliary verb la and the main verb will be the same, but usually in speech it will be contracted. So we don't say if I had had, we'd say if I'd had,
If
which
I had,
sounds
if
less
I, if I
strange.
had,
Okay, let's have some new third conditionals in the comments. Answers, please. So people say regret. It doesn't have to be regret. It could be a positive thing. For example, if I hadn't gone to the party, I wouldn't have met my wife. That's not a regret.
yeah, Risa
Um,
just gave her sentence. If
it's
I
what?
had
Sorry.
studied harder, I would have passed the exam.
That's what? Sorry. That's an example you found somewhere on the internet.
No, no, it's from Risa.
What's the reason? Oh, sorry. Yeah, too many things to concentrate. If I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam. Yeah, good. Risa, were you here? You were here for the first time we tried the conditional live stream, weren't you? Yes, all perfect, Risa. So your condition talks about a past situation, and your consequence talks about a past result. But don't worry. I mean, native speakers will. I hear native speakers use conditionals incorrectly all the time. So
Oh,
if
really?
you use these perfectly and beautifully, you will be in a minority. Yeah, it's true. They will use the past simple tense here for the third conditional. So I mean, you can't be too much of what's the word? A teacher telling people they're wrong, but really, this is the correct way we should use it. We talk about the past situation, but we use the past perfect. Let's try another one. Um, if I always think about wine and beer. This is I haven't drunk any alcohol for 2 months though. If I hadn't drunk the wine last night, who can give me a consequence?
If I hadn't
Answers
drunk the
in
wine last night,
comments.
if
If
I
I
hadn't
hadn't drunk the wine last night, or if I hadn't drunk so much wine last night. What would be the hypothetical consequence
I
in the
would have
past?
been I would have been sober. I would have, is it like sober?
Yeah, it's possible. That's the opposite of drunk. I would have been sober.
Yeah, I would have been sober. Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, Risa has given us a new one. Can you read us Risa's sentence, Amma?
So Risa says, if I had known you earlier, I would have understood. I would have understood about conditional sentence.
Yeah, it's grammatically correct. If I had
Yeah.
known you earlier, yeah, you can say that. Or if I had met you earlier, I would have understood about conditional sentences. It would be plural before. Okay, let's do another one. I'm terrible. I can't think of anything. Um, if I had practiced my guitar more, whoops, past situation. I'm trying to get my guitar here. If I had practiced my guitar more, what would be the past consequence of that action?
If I had
In the
practiced
comments.
my guitar more, I would I would have been yeah, I would have been a famous guitarist.
Yeah, good. Um, let's write all that down. You're lucky, Emma. You don't have to write anything because your writing ability is disabled for some strange reason. We will work out how to get you to write soon. Yeah, I would have been a famous musician. Remember, we don't have to only use would, we can use other modals to change the meaning slightly. So I think a better one would be I could have. Because we're talking about hypotheticals, so there is no certainty. If I had practiced my guitar more, I could have been a famous musician. Whoops, is my spelling even right here? Famous musician. There we go. Let's do one more third until we get to the really strange stuff. Yes, Anwar, can you give me a third conditional, just the condition, and then the students in the chat can give us the consequence.
If I had said, if I have invested my money on gold,
One more time.
if I had invested my money on gold,
Yeah, we
I
use
would
it. We use in here. Yeah,
in
invested my
gold.
money, or just invested in gold.
Yeah,
You can just say invested because we know we're talking about money.
yeah, yeah.
I'll just put if I had invested in gold. So that is your past condition, everyone. Who can give us a consequence? If I had invested in gold, what? Okay, if they don't give us a consequence, we might have to get one. Have we got one? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we go. There is
Risa, what
that.
does Risa say, Emma?
I might have been the richest man.
Yeah, good. For superlatives as well, you have to give some more information. The richest man where? The richest man in Indonesia. The richest man in my house.
Probably, yeah.
So let's choose one. Yeah, and you need the article, Risa. You might have been, what should we say? The richest man in your village, your town, your country, the world?
In my village.
How many people in your village? A
I don't
thousand?
know. It's a
500?
lot of people. A lot of people.
It's a big village. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if Anwar had invested in gold, he might have been the richest man in his village. Good in Java Island, says Risa. Oh yeah, Risa is from the same country. Are you on
Yeah.
Java Island?
But I don't think Risa lives in Java Island. I think she lives
I think
in.
she's talking about you, but is that right for you?
Yeah, I live in Java Island. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's making the situation for you. Okay, let's move on because we've done an hour and it's lunchtime here in the UK. So this is where it gets very interesting. Uh, some people tried to use this one before because this is quite a natural thing to do. What's the next conditional we usually look at? Answers in the comments. Or Anwar, what's the next conditional?
So the last one we're gonna have, I think, the mixed conditional.
Yeah, there are two mixed conditionals, so we call it mixed conditionals. And we start with mixed conditional number one. Can you give us a mixed conditional one sentence and then we can analyze it?
Oh, I forgot that one. Can I make the if clause in present simple?
Well, what do you remember? I think before, when you tried to do the third, you made some of these. It's quite a natural thing to do. So mixed conditional one. No?
No, I don't remember
You
anything.
can't remember how it starts. So it starts like mixed conditional third because you are again talking about a past condition, but you're not talking about a past consequence. Does that help?
So,
Okay, so start
so
with the past condition. You can even use the past condition used before about your gold. Do you want to start talking about the gold?
yeah, if I had invested in gold,
Sorry, I think we might have made a mistake with the gold one. Sorry, let me just check that. Yeah, good. If I had invested in gold,
I I will have a lot of money.
one more time,
I will have a lot of money.
I will have a lot of money.
Yeah,
No.
no, I would have a lot of money
Yeah, good. So, what is it a mixture of? Why is it called the mixed conditional? What are we mixing?
because in this mixed condition, like we kind of mix, you know, the the formula. Also, like, the if clause is really different with the result with the consequence.
Yeah, so the condition clause is what kind of condition?
We use the hypothetical one.
So the if clause is a past condition.
Yeah,
Okay, but the consequence clause is what kind of consequence?
it's in the present.
Yeah, so it's a present consequence, which is a common thing we want to express. So again, we use the grammar from before when we had a past condition, like in the third conditional, we used the past perfect tense.
But do people use this one, sir?
The mixed conditional one, yeah,
Yeah,
all the time. It's a common thing. You talk about a past action and a present result of that past action.
yeah.
I mean,
It's
I don't know about your language, but I guess in lots of languages, people will want to talk about this situation. Just out of interest, do you have conditionals or a similar thing in your language, or
uh yeah, we do have this kind of thing, but
very
like in
different
Indonesia,
grammatically?
we don't have tenses. we don't have tenses in
Okay, so it
Indonesia.
probably looks grammatically very, very different. Yeah,
Yeah,
really, we don't have tenses. That is probably a
yeah.
good idea. Whoops, I've changed the color of everything. Disaster. Okay, what am I doing? Yeah, so we express present consequence with would plus infinitive. Okay, has anyone written anything in the comments, Amma?
No one's writing in the comment, right?
Oh yeah, maybe people are starting to find it a little bit confusing. Okay, just having some technical problems here. So let's do some more. If I had worked harder at school, past consequence, what is the present? Sorry, past condition. What is the present consequence of that past condition? Answers in the comments. If I had studied harder at school, it's confusing. Wait until you see the mixed conditional too, Risa, if you think this one's confusing. If I had worked harder at school. Let's leave my one. And La, what's La done? Can you read out La's sentence, Samuel? Let's see if it's correct.
If I had a scholarship, I would be given a preference for studying Glasgow University. If I had a scholarship,
Is that first question? Is that correct grammatically?
if no, no, I think no.
It is actually correct, but it's not a mixed conditional. What is it?
This one is second. The
Second
second.
conditional, you're talking about a hypothetical present or future situation with the present or future consequence. So it's correct, but wrong one. We don't want first conditional. We did second conditional. We did that a long time ago. We want mixed conditional one. So I think you would have to say if I
I
had got a scholarship.
Yeah. If I had got a scholarship, I would be given preference for studying in Glasgow University.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to my one. Sorry, I can't write here. I have pop-ups all over my computer. I would be given preference for studying at Glasgow University. If I had, what did I say again? If I had worked harder at school, Risa, is that the consequence to my condition? If it is, that's not correct because you've given me a past consequence. I want a present consequence. Can you correct her, Amma? If I had worked harder at school, what would be the present consequence of that past condition?
I would, if I think it's correct, the one that you just wrote on the comment.
That I wrote.
Yep.
We need to change Risa's condition to a present condition, not a
I would
present
have been.
consequence. Sorry, not a past condition.
Oh, I would be an English teacher.
Mm.
Yep.
We'll just say now, just to make it clear. Do you understand, Risa? Past condition, present consequence. Sometimes you want to talk about a past condition with a past consequence. Sometimes you want to talk about a past condition with a present consequence. Let's try another one. Risa. If Risa had gone to bed earlier last night, what is
If
the
Risa had gone
consequence?
to bed earlier
If
last
Risa
night,
had gone to bed earlier last
She
night.
would. She would wake up
Oh,
earlier.
yeah, no, that's hard because because present simple is it's confusing because present simple that's a regular action, so it can't be that one.
All right.
So you need to talk about a present state. What would her condition be now? She would be
She,
what?
she would be.
Or how would she feel? Um,
She wouldn't feel
I
sleepy.
wouldn't feel. Yeah, exactly. There we
Mhm.
go, Risa. I gave you the past situation, the past condition. You gave me the present consequence. Let's try another one. Who can create a full mixed conditional one sentence in the comments? Maybe Anwar, do you have one for us?
If I had, if I had, if I had joined Hello Talk earlier, I would have a lot of followers.
I would what?
I would have a lot of followers.
Yeah, good. And just to make it clear, you're talking about the present. You can say, I would have a lot of followers now, but
Yeah, I would have a lot of
it's you
followers
don't
now.
have to. Yeah, be careful because present simple that doesn't work because that's a regular action. If you understand, it's hard to explain. Let's try another one. Who can give me a full mixed conditional one sentence? If something something something, then I something something something. Past
If I had
conditional.
graduate from,
If I had graduated, past participle.
yeah, if I have graduated from, mm, it's like, uh, I want to think of, some of the major that I like. If I have graduated from art department,
Mm.
I would be I would be, what's like the one that fan someone. I would be
Sorry, say that again.
I would be a painter.
Yeah, good. Again, you can use a different modal to express different levels of probability.
I could have
Uh, yeah, actually, that sounds a bit weird. If I had graduated what?
from art department.
Yeah,
Art,
I'd use maybe like the modal might. If I'd graduated from the art department, I might be a painter now. Or yeah, I would be a painter now. Okay, anyone got any more these sentences? Anyone got a full mixed conditional one? If I had studied English earlier, I would speak English well. Yeah, good, Rissa. I'd probably say started. If I had started studying English earlier, I would speak English well now. Good. So these are common situations that we want to talk about every day. Okay, as time is running out, we have to do the last one. I didn't want to do this one. I'm a bit scared of this one. This one is the stuff of nightmares. And yeah, I don't teach it much. So if I because I don't teach it much, I'm not that good at teaching it. Not that many people really ask about this one. So this one is mixed conditional two. Do you remember this one, Anwar? Not sure. I think yeah, we only did this quickly. Yeah, I'll give an example, then we can analyze what it expresses. Okay, for example, if I, whoops, if I, cannot write. Let's try again. If I were brave, I would have been a boxer. Okay, so what kind of situation does this express?
If I were brave, I would have been a boxer.
So let's look at the condition and the consequence. What is each?
The if clause is in the past tense, and
But what
then
always think about the time that it is talking about first. I think that's less confusing than thinking about the tense.
yeah, it's the condition is in. I think it's in the present. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's present time, which confusingly is expressed with the past simple tense. So we have a present time condition, but what about the consequence?
The consequences in the past.
Yeah, so that sounds very strange, like some weird science fiction movie. How can we have a
Oh,
present condition with a past consequence? Can you explain this?
present time, and I guess this is like like the regret.
Regret. Not necessarily. I don't think it has to be regret. Okay, so the secret to this one is the present time condition was also a past time condition, if you understand. So you're saying if I were brave, that's talking about now, but also in the past. So it was a condition back in the past before the consequence action. So we didn't really do this one last time. So just think about a present condition. For example, if I were if I were American, so that's your present condition, which is also a past condition, and now give me a past consequence of that present
If
condition.
I
If
were
I were
American,
American,
I would have been I would have been not good at
sorry,
geography.
sorry, yeah, say that again,
I would have I would have been not good at geography.
or I wouldn't have been good at geography. Yeah, and to make it clear, this is the past at school or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is a present time condition, but it's also talking about the past because American is that's something which is true all of your life. If I were American, I wouldn't have been good at geography at school. Okay, yeah. So I see people in the comments are getting confused. Yeah, this is the hardest one. This confuses most people. It confuses English teachers when they have to teach it. But it's not that difficult if you think about it, because it's thinking about something which is true now and in the past, and then that thing has a past consequence. For example, let's do another one. Yeah, if I were a woman. Okay, so this is something which is
If I were a
talking about the
woman, if
present
I
in the
were a
past. So let's
woman,
think about a past consequence of that present and past condition. If I were a woman,
I would have been a mother of 11 children.
yeah, again, I might change your modal because that's a bit strange.
I could
Uh,
I could have been a mother of 11 children.
It's very specific, Anwar. Yeah, I could have had many children, but it's grammatically impossible.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've changed my. I'm getting confused. If I were a woman, so that's my present condition. My past consequence is I. What should we
I
say? Yeah, I would have had many children.
I would have, yeah, I would have.
So yeah, that's your present condition. But remember, the secret is it's also a past condition,
Wait, is it I
even
would
though
have
it's
had
all
or
hypothetical.
I would have got? I would
I
have
would have
got.
had. Yeah. Let's try another one. So, Risa, you can do one. You are a girl, Risa, or a woman. So, um, if I were male, so this is a present condition. Now give me a past consequence of this present condition, Risa. If I were male, Risa is thinking. So it has to be for your one. Shall I give you some ideas, Risa? If I were male, for example, do you have national service in your country, Anwar?
Come
That
again? Have
means
what?
you have national service. That means compulsory military service for men.
No,
Not in Indonesia. Okay.
no,
In lots of countries, they do. When you're a man between the ages of 18 and 30 or something, you have to join the army. Okay, so we
no.
can't do that one. If I were, can you think of a consequence or for Rusa Anwar if
If
I were male?
if I were a male,
Um,
I
Something which is generally true. For example, I would have been taller. You can
yeah,
even
yeah.
say probably.
I would have been taller. I would have been taller.
So that's a past. Um, what is it? Past consequence or something obvious. I could have gone to a boys' school or an all boys' school. Uh,
I could have been a football player like Ronaldo.
Professional. Well, a bit sexist, Amra. It can still be as a woman, but it's easier. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I could have been a professional football. Yeah, careful, La. Your consequence is not in the past.
I would have been stronger than Anwar, all right.
um, yeah, or yeah, that's not that good an example. Let's think of another one. Let's do one which is good for all of you here. If I were good at English. So present condition, but also a past condition. What is a past consequence of this present condition? If I were good at English,
If I were good at English, would have
yeah,
I would have taught in a university.
yeah, I'd say could have.
Yeah, I could
But
have.
I mean, it's grammatically correct. Um, but I mean, it depends on your situation. Maybe if it's a decision, we'll say, what should we say? Um, yeah, maybe you wanted to do it, but you couldn't because you weren't good. I would have taught at a university. Research. So your consequence is for my condition. If I were good at English, I would have been living in London now. But Risa, that's confusing because now is not the past, is it?
Yeah,
So I think what you meant is I would have moved to
live.
London. Is that what you
I
meant?
would have lived. Yeah,
I would have moved to London.
I would have worked. I would have worked in the UK. I would have lived in London.
Yeah, because it's a strange one, isn't it, Risa? You're doing a what are you doing? A sort of present perfect, present perfect continuous. So no, just a simple one. If I was good at English, I would be. If I were good at English, I would be living in London. Yeah, second conditional, that's fine. But we're trying mixed conditional too, the really strange one. It's not actually that strange. It's just not used that much. Yeah, but also talk about the past action, not the present action, Risa. So if I were good at English, consequence, I would have moved to London. Yeah. Okay, one more. Yeah, then it's definitely time for lunch. My stomach is rumbling.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, who can write a full mixed conditional 2 sentence in the comments? Your prize will arrive through the post. Yeah, if I were cleverer, present conditioner, present conditioner, present conditional, I would have had a big breakfast today. That's the present condition past action because now I'm hungry. Okay, anyone else who can give me a full mixed conditional 2 sentence? Yeah, practice these at home. I recommend get a grammar book with lots of examples to do.
If
Murphy
I
is a particular book. Yeah, you can't just do this once. Go to mixed conditionals and just practice again and again. Sorry,
yeah,
Anwar, you got your sentence?
yeah, I got my sentence like this is like the last sentence from me. If I were smarter, if I were smarter, I would have got a scholarship.
Yeah, good. I think you've got it now, Alma. So you're lucky. Well, this is your second conditional live stream, isn't it? So, yeah, Risa, you've given me a nice sentence, but it's third conditional. If I had taken the job, I would have worked in Japan. Both your condition and your consequence are in the past. If you are a super student, you can give me a present condition with a past consequence. Then you will be doing a mixed conditional 2 sentence. Can you do that? Then I will go to my lunch satisfied.
All right.
Um, Research. So something that you are not. If I were English, if I were taller, I don't know. If I were a doctor.
If I if I were if I were a white man,
Uh, okay, what would be the past hypothetical past condition of that?
I don't know. I don't want to sound racist. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say it now.
What? Well, you can. What are you going to say?
No, 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 no. Just forget it, no man. No.
I'm sure you can do a good consequence that isn't rude or offensive to anyone.
Nah.
If I had taken the job I would have worked in Japan. Yeah, Risa, do you have one? If I were, for example, I'll just give you lots of examples, and maybe you'll get it in your head, or use the internet to help you. If I were taller, present condition, also past. I could have played for my school basketball team. If I were stronger, I would have beat up the bullies at school. Um, let's see what Risa's got. Amra, can you read out Risa's sentence? Has she passed the test? Amra, can you see Risa's last comment?
Riza's comment: If I were taller, I would have worked as a flight attendant.
Yeah, has she got it? Does she understand the mixed conditional two now?
I guess yes. I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Just yeah. You noticed a small mistake, which is not actually related to the conditionals. You need your article.
Yeah.
If I were taller,
I would have.
I would have worked as a flight attendant.
So I think Chris, people they usually contract the word would and had it, so that they will have would have, right?
Would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally in speech, you'll contract the two words together. So would have becomes would have. If I were brave, I would have been a boxer. Yeah, that's why another thing you think you don't hear people using these because often they'll speak very quickly and contract a lot of words together.
Yeah.
Let's try one more, Risa. Again, as I said, this needs constant practice. Go to a good grammar book, and especially the more difficult ones. Third, mixed one, mixed two. Get a nice page full of exercises and do all of them. You can also try and practice them in your speech. You'll find many situations for expressing these things. Risa, do you have one last sentence? I think I'm happy enough as it is. Sadly, a
Yeah.
few people disappeared. Maybe they thought, yeah, it was too confusing and strange. I
Yes.
don't know.
Again, because like I think if we compare this conditional sentence to Indonesian, we don't have tenses in Indonesia. So basically, if you want to say something, if you want to express your regret, if you want to say something hypothetical, you would
Mm,
only say it like a normal sentence. We don't really change like tenses in the if clause or in the consequences. So yeah. That's why it's really
yeah,
kind of like really
yeah.
confusing for us.
I
It's really
can't even
confusing.
imagine how you'd express these in Indonesian. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of my students, they tell me in their languages it can be sometimes a little bit similar, European languages, but I guess the Asian languages are less similar. If I were you, I would have eaten my lunch. I suppose that's kind of correct, isn't it? Good. So keep practicing. Um, yeah, definitely time to go now, isn't it?
Yeah,
No one likes doing that many conditionals. Most people get confused or give up by second or third. So we got on past the second, the third, then mix one, mix two.
yep,
Okay, thank you to everyone who came, Risa and the other people. La, who's not really La. I think people are not using their real names, which is fine. Maybe
yeah.
I should
They
just use
probably
your
use
code
different
names.
name from Hello Talk. So yeah,
Yeah, maybe I'll just use your code names. I don't want to give your real name if you want it to be a secret. So thanks, La, and Russian writing person. Yeah, I think I would do another live stream on YouTube. I was thinking doing one on Saturday, actually, a Saturday hangout. So there will be no plan. People will just ask me questions about anything.
all right, all right.
Saturday, I know, is good for some people because they don't have work or study, or don't have
Yeah,
to. Okay, any more questions before we finish?
I think that's enough for me. Like,
No. Okay, yeah, it's quite late for you. Was it 9:37?
no, it's eight
Oh,
thirty-seven.
okay, it's still a bit late. And an hour and a half is too much to talk about conditionals. Okay, so everyone did very well. Bon appetit, says La. Thanks. Okay, yeah, hope to see you maybe tomorrow's live stream, if not on Hello Talk. Okay, bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye, bye
I'm
bye,
out.
Chris. Take care. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye, Risa. Bye bye, La.